The third and final week of the preseason is here. A fourth exhibition game is a thing of the past. It's the reigning Super Bowl champs and the Dolphins on Sunday night.
We are about 15 or so miles northwest of world-famous Miami Beach as we are set for football at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis with you, and now we sit, CD, at week 3 of the preseason, and this is the one that the coaches probably think is pretty valuable, right?
Certainly. This is the dress rehearsal. This is the one where your starters are going to play. You might even game plan a little bit more than you do with a normal preseason game, and then you've got to decide, do you bring them back after halftime and get them going again in the third quarter so they're ready to go when the regular season begins? I'm eager to see how these coaches will handle that.
Here's Cairo Santos now ready to get this one started. And we are underway from Hard Rock Stadium. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Here is Tua Tagovailoa heading out to lead this Miami offense.
You want to talk about a driven player, partner? This guy is absolutely that person. He doesn't just have goals in this game. He wants to be remembered among the best to play the position, and he treats every game as an audition for that. It's a lofty goal to set for yourself, but we've seen his drive lead to some impressive games from him. Perhaps another one is in store today.
Now they show jet sweep, but instead a run up the middle here. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. Here's Tua. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It'll be a loss of 6 yards on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. Now Tua. And this is going to be incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
And the punter Bailey on now as he sends this one away. Shrugs the tackle.
Nice.
It's a 41-yard punt, but just a net of 31 following the run back. And the Bears take over. So now we'll get a look at the other offensive unit as they come out for their first possession. And they will be led out by a man in his sophomore campaign as the quarterback.
His ability to adjust on the fly is almost unmatched in the game right now because it leads to a couple of snaps per game where you just sit back and ask yourself, how did he pull that off? Opponents can practice and prepare each and every week all they want, but this guy, he is hard to corral.
That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and it's second down. First carry for DeAndre Swift. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
Now, we all know that an offensive coordinator and a quarterback, they're aligned at the hip. But when you've got a runner who can get you that kind of yardage, that guy's invaluable.
On play action, here's Williams. That'll be caught. It's Scott. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. He got 29 yards that time.
Another nice play there. They've gotten down into the red zone in no time at all. That's what this offense can do when they get on a roll. And now they're set up with a 1st and 10.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. Off the bootleg, it's Williams. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run. To throw, it's Williams. Escaping the pressure. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Caleb Williams taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Bears will claim the early lead as they're on the board first here tonight. Both sides of the football in sync early. You force the 3 and out, and then you take it down, score points.
You know what that tells me? They sold their game plan really well. Head coach said, listen, we're just going to stop them on 3 and out. We're going to take the ball downfield and score. But he also told them how it was going to happen. They're going to run this. We're going to stuff it. Then we're going to take the ball. They won't be able to keep up with us. And they got it done.
Santos able to tack on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. So Miami coming out for their second drive. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
So the challenge there does not go their way. This will indeed remain a completed pass. Tua sets up to pass it. Tyreek Hill's got another one. He'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Tua to Tyreek for the Miami first.
Didn't they tell us in our meetings that they needed to account for him on each and every play?
You think? A guy of his caliber? So how does a guy like him get that wide open?
That usually means there's a tire breakdown on what the coverage was. Everyone thought they were doing something, and they were supposed to be doing something else. But bottom line is, no matter what, you have to know where he is and cover him on every play.
In motion, Hill. Off of play action, Tagovailoa. Throw out wide is incomplete. You know, last week I remember asking you, what would an offensive coordinator be looking for week 2 of the preseason? Now we're in week 3. Defensive coordinator-wise, what's he looking at?
For the most part in preseason, you're playing pretty basic stuff, pretty vanilla defenses. You're looking for guys that play with abandon, that just go out and make plays and kind of let their athletic ability take over in order for you to notice them.
He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down as he'll be marked out a yard or 2 past the marker following a gain of 6. A quick slant to Hill. And he'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. The Dolphin passing game rolling here. They've got another first down.
That's the 3rd time on this drive that these two have connected with each other. They've got a real rapport going. And right now, it's paying off with big chunks of yardage, as shown by that last play.
Here's Tagovailoa to throw. He'll get it once more into the hands of Hill. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Tyreek Hill, a 20-yard touchdown. And the Dolphins are an extra point away now from tying this ball game.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
Extra point splits the uprights, and we are tied at 7. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it ends with a touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Jalen Phillips, the former first-rounder, getting in there for the sack. Not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Well, throw on the run, but that's going to be incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Now Hill to return it. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40. A 46-yard boot, but just 36 following a pretty decent return of 10 yards. And it'll be Dolphin football. Good starting field position for the Dolphins as they have it 1st and 10 at the 40. They fake the handoff. Now Tua. And that's incomplete.
And there's a good opportunity to just want to ride there. A drop pass. I guess that's why they call them running backs and not catching backs.
Throwing now is Tagovailoa. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a 1st down.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
Tua going to throw. Over the middle and complete to Waddle. So the completion good for 6 yards. And it's 2nd down.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4 at the Bears' 37-yard line.
Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down.
And that's an early scramble that can be viewed positively by either side. From the offensive point of view, it begins to establish him as a possibility to keep it on certain plays. And defensively, they avoided giving up a huge play in one of their first tests in containing a quarterback on the run.
And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. Now, during that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. Well, you hate to see this before the regular season even begins. We'll take a break and come back. More preseason action in a moment. In motion, Hill. Play action. Now it's Tua. And a dangerous throw there. Incomplete. He threw that into coverage. It was nearly intercepted. Now a 2nd and 10. On play action, here's Tua. Steps away to his left. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. Good work on the scamper by Tagovailoa. It's a 1st down.
I can't be sure how much of that was planned pre-snap, but it certainly opens up some avenues for their offense. And if he can stay a threat to break off those kind of runs, it'll pull defenders away from coverage and open up some choice throwing lanes for.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Jonnu Smith from 6 yards away. And the Dolphins have taken the lead.
For good reason, quarterbacks want to get the ball to the perimeter to their wide receivers for big plays. But in this situation, it felt like, based on coverage, he knew that he wanted his tight end to have the football, and for good reason.
Wolf on now for the extra point. It's up and good, and it's 14-7 now here in the 1st quarter. So that drive goes 8 plays. And it was Jonnu Smith, the big tight end, who capped the drive with a touchdown reception. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch. Now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. The Bears with the football. We get set to begin quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 4th down coming up. Here comes the Bears punter now as he'll punt it away for the second time. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. So possession goes over here on the punt. And they will take over 1st and 10. In motion, Hill. Looking to pass. Tua. Forced out to his left. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there. It's 2nd down.
Second and 7 at the 20-yard line.
Now back to throw. Oh, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. In motion, Hill. On play action, they'll throw. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Montez Sweat, the man that time to fight in and drop him. Jake Bailey on now to punt here on 4th down. The Bears in good field position to start out 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. They'll give up the middle to Johnson. And space tough to come by there as he'll get maybe a yard to the 37. So from the 37, here's a 2nd and 9. Throwing is Williams. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. They'll wind up getting just a yard. And 3rd and 8 now. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. Williams from the gun on 3rd down. That is caught. Oh, he sheds himself free. And he will have the Bears first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
All right, let's just go ahead and walk through this one pretty easily, right? Blast off the line of scrimmage, get downfield to a certain point, usually around 8 to 10 yards, turn around and make sure the quarterback sees your numbers and set yourself up for the pass.
A well-executed curl route by Charles Davis. On 1st and 10, it's Swift. And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, 2nd down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety? coming up and making the big-time play.
And he's going to have the hook up to Scott. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 2. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Off the play fake, it's Williams. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete. These offensive starters still out there in the second quarter. You would think the plans for them to at least play into the third quarter, if not all the way through.
Yeah, it might go by feel. If they have a really good first drive to start the third quarter, they might pull them after that. If not, might leave them out there a little bit longer, but I'll guarantee this, they'll be gone by the start of the fourth quarter.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. I would say they went 3 and out last time, but actually they didn't even get to 3 and out. Still a strange decision to us here in the booth.
Yeah, let's hope they don't go 1 and out, but maybe, possibly, let's try and think with them here. Try and play field position maybe, turn the ball over, put it in the hands of their defense. Who knows?
You're a nice man. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Brandon, you're a big lover of music. How about what you just saw there? This is what I call playing the piano for a defensive lineman, the ability to move laterally up and down the line of scrimmage. How about the way he just flowed and got to the outside part of the field and made that play?
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. That's caught. Waddle on the left side. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 17 yards is the pickup there for number 17. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays. So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Achane here, they stay on the ground. He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4, 2nd down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
But it's caught on the right side at Smith. And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line. Now Tua. He'll dump this off to Achane. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. But despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. Tua to throw again. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. A gain of 9, not enough, and it's 4th down.
Brandon, it certainly looked like they had that play defended well, but it still almost worked. Got it to the running back. He wound up getting really good yardage out of it, but it was 3rd and long, and they were able to rally and stop him before he could get to the marker.
And this one is right down the middle, and the Dolphins will add on to their lead. So that one on target, and it adds to this first half lead.
And maybe we're too early to worry too much about 1-score lead, 2-score lead, etc. But this is where you kind of start banking those points that come in helpful later on.
And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The Bears offense out there set and ready to go. They find themselves down 17-7 as they start this drive 1st and 10. To throw, it's Williams. He'll look middle here and get it to Odunze. And out across midfield down to the 45. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first?
So often when we're watching a football game, we see one with a lot of ebbs and flows, and this one is no different. And sometimes you just need a big play to wake you up a bit. And they get one right there. That shot of caffeine this offense was looking for.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 45-yard line. They'll fake the give. Now Williams. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I think there he had to come off of his primary receiver in a big way, just trying to get it to a secondary guy, unable to get that play completed.
Checked down, but didn't even have enough time to do that. Incomplete. Fights through him. And that's out to the flat for Swift. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. And they'll need to get to the 35 if they want to keep this drive going on 3rd down. Williams going to look to throw again. Flushed out right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Looks like a 9-yard loss, and it also brings up 4th.
It wasn't a breakdown in protection. Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
Here comes the Bears punter now. He'll boot it away from about his 35. And he gets it away. A directional kick going toward the sideline. Miami set to take over. There was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
A short throw there. That's to Smythe, the tight end. And to the 36-yard line. Taken down there after getting 8 yards.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable 2nd down.
It's caught. Smith. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. From midfield, here's Tua. Open man is Waddle, complete. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that will bring up 2nd down. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. From the 46-yard line, a 2nd down and 6. Again, they will throw it with Tagovailoa. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. Montez Sweat able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening. And that sack, Charles, just looked like a case where a speedy defensive end is a little bit quicker than the offensive tackle.
Yeah, it makes it difficult for a tackle to determine what exactly to do. Do you do the kick slide and try and get back in the pocket and meet him there? Do you meet him on the line of scrimmage where they call a quick set? In any event, right now, he's having his troubles.
Off of play action, Tagovailoa. And going deep for Hill. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Credit Jaquan Brisker. He got a hand on that and knocked it free.
And with apologies to Dylan Thomas, apparently they're not going to go gently into the half. They're still out there firing haymakers. They took a chance on a deep ball there, but it winds up incomplete.
And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. To throw, Williams. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. 2nd and 10. Here's Williams. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock.
He went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
He's going to loft one deep left side here. He's got it at the 15. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
That certainly went against the traditional ways of playing football, but who cares? Look at the result. Big touchdown.
They went for it on their own side of the 50. So there's conservative, there's aggressive, and there's really aggressive, which is what we just saw there. Tip of the cap to them.
Now the point after try for Santos. And this is up and good to make it a 17-14 game. So we've hit halftime, just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we send you up to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. Week 3 of the preseason is here. Everyone wrapping up their exhibition schedule. No games for the league on Labor Day weekend. And then it all begins. The 17-game regular season gets underway on the Thursday after Labor Day with the NFL kickoff game. In our game, expect to see the starters for at least one more drive. Something to look forward to as we get you back out to Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Jones breaking from the contact. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Bears offense set to go to begin the 3rd quarter. This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the 3rd quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
And he's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage, but that's about it. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Looking to throw is Williams. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Breaking through to drop him, that's Perrion Winfrey. Here comes the Bears punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. .47-yard punt, a return of 4. And out will come the offense as they take over. So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the 2nd half. Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. They'll swing this out wide. Here's Achane. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line.
Going to the air. Tagovailoa. And that one too wide and incomplete.
And when you're in a 1-score game in the 2nd half, now's not the time to force the football into places where you shouldn't. And that's a smart decision to just get that one out of there.
Tua sets up to pass it. And this will be incomplete.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
Here's Tua. And they'll bring him down right at midfield, and he is well short of the first down. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down.
How about that strategy there, Brandon? 3rd down. They just said, we've got faith in our tacklers. We'll give you the short stuff, and just decided to protect the sticks. So every time I hear fans telling me tackling's not a part of the game anymore, plays like that, I can clip and save and show them you have to tackle well if you want to be a good defense.
And that is very well done there, as this will be marked out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Another drive coming up for this Chicago offense. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going, so what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis.
Automatic first down.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Swift going to try up the middle. And he'll work down inside the 45. As we surmise, Charles, most of the starting units still out there for this 3rd quarter. First time this preseason that they played into the 2nd half.
And that's by design. Most of the time by this point of the preseason, you want them to go into the half, cool down, and then come back out and warm up to start the 3rd quarter like you would a regular season game. That's exactly what they wanted to get done.
And the line to gain here is the 37 on 3rd down. To the air, Williams. He wants it all for the end zone. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
I certainly like the idea. You're down on their side of the field. Get your big play guy involved. That time, they put one up for him to see if he can pull it down in the end zone, but the coverage was good, and it winds up incomplete.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. The Dolphins offense and Tua Tagovailoa headed back out onto the field. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive.
But they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another 1st down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. And going deep for Hill. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
I've got a good friend in football who always talks about predictive history. He's got one of their 2 touchdowns. You can understand why they tried to find him again. Weren't able to connect, but the thought, that was good.
Here's Tagovailoa to throw. Short throw to Smith. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
Such a tough position to defend near the line, even when you add a second defender, but the big man shrugged off the extra body and made the play call a success.
Looking to pass. Tua. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 45-yard line.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. 1st down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
But he's turning in a nice performance. Remember, he had the touchdown earlier, and this time he's able to beat double coverage to grab it.
I think that if he weren't worried about a taunting penalty, he'd run by the opposing team's bench and say, guys,
2 is not going to be enough. You better get some more guys trying to cover me. He knows how to get open downfield.
Finding Waddle crossing the field and bringing it in. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. In motion, Hill. Play action. Now it's Tua. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Play number 9 set to come here on the drive on 3rd and 2. And again, it's Tagovailoa. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Tua Tagovailoa. A 5-yard touchdown run. And the Dolphins are able to add on to that lead.
That's a really good decision right there outside of the pocket. You've got to know the right time to shift from passer to runner. He was looking and looking, nothing there. You can almost feel the brainwaves firing as he calculates, I think I can win a race to the pylon. And he turns out to be right. Touchdown.
Extra point right down the middle. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it was Tua Tagovailoa who called his own number and finished it off with the touchdown run. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Bears now ready to take over again. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They're down now 24-14. Work to do as they come up on a 1st and 10. Off the bootleg, it's Williams. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make 2nd down, 2nd and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sand.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Throwing is Williams. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Scott. So the completion good for 7 there. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. The Dolphins offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And he had it going in the first half, that's for sure. He's really had his way with his secondary. They've been powerless to stop him, and he'll look to keep it rolling right here. Here's Achane to start the drive. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 32-yard line.
Throwing now is Tagovailoa. Throwing for Smith on the out route, and it's caught. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 19 yards there on the catch and run.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter
they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Now Tua. That's going to be caught by Waddle. Short completion, just 4 yards, and that'll bring up second down.
4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6 at the Bears' 44-yard line.
Achane gets it from the gun. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. You're watching preseason football on EA Sports. Back now in Miami. It's Dolphin football. It's also Dolphin lead to begin quarter number 4. And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Going for the knockout blow right there. I think if I'm up 2 scores, I'd be worried about an interception, but playing this way is what got him this lead. So you may as well ride it out to the end.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. The Bears offense ready to get going again. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news, but this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner. There's Wilson to throw. A little short pass. This is Everett. And oh, he sheds a tackle. Now he's got some space. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. A good pickup there at 22.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a 1-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. Up the middle, Johnson. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Wilson. A little short pass. This is Everett. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. First time they've looked his way in this game. He comes through picking up the first. Here's Wilson. A little short pass. This is Everett. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And it'll be 2nd down. Play action. It's Wilson. Steps away. He'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3. But now it's 3rd down. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Throwing is Wilson. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he will have the Bears' first down, and he was able to get it by plenty. A gain of 8 on 3rd and 3. They go play action with Wilson. Looking for the end zone. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
When you're leading in the final quarter, your radar has to be up for any potential deep shots. And probably not the last one they're going to see in this game, not as long as they hold this lead.
This thrown quickly out to Jones. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, Had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So another 3rd down conversion, and now they've got a 1st and goal. They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And he stopped immediately there. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. They go to Johnson again. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. A nice run there as he picks up 6. It's going to be 3rd and goal now. Here's Wilson. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. So it's been a long drive. They've held the ball for quite a while. Now what do you do here?
Well, to me, at this stage, after this drive, this close to the goal line, 3 points would be a letdown. I'm going for it here.
Santos' kick is up and through, and this is back down to a 7-point game. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
And there's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get it the least a 3 and out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. And Miami's offense set and ready to go. Their lead back down to 1 score after the field goal a moment ago, so they'll be looking to string together a few first downs, likely on the ground as they begin 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Wynn. His throw incomplete.
Yes, sir. How about an attaboy there on 1st down? Got his hand in and knocked it away.
Here's 2nd and 10. And they'll send the tight end in motion left. A give up the middle to right. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. That good for 22 and a 1st down.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there. And on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing in a situation when they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously. But at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
Well, clear running situation, trying to take time off the clock. You ran the previous play, set that play action up nicely.
Boy, did they ever, because they had shown the ability to run the football. So now you lose your keys as a defense. You dive for the running play, and they hit them over the top.
And it's complete. He gets this one to Washington. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 23 yards, the final tally. Out of the gun, here's a give to right. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
And they have just not been able to block him at all throughout this game. Seems like every other play, he's doing something in the backfield. Already got 2 sacks, and now here's a tackle behind the line.
Under pressure, and he'll go down. Back at the 26-yard line. Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss.
And the passing game's been struggling a bit today, and that was the latest example. Haven't been getting much yardage out of it, and now on his back after the last play, he faces 3rd and long.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Operating from the gun. Wynn. Under pressure, and they got to him again. DeMarcus Walker providing a little deja vu. Back-to-back sacks, and now they're staring at a 4th and long.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down,
They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
The Dolphins will send out the punter now, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. So Russell Wilson in the offense. Down 24-17. 2:01 remaining. They'll have one play here just north of the 2-minute warning. Now Wilson. Fighting to stay upright. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down.
Now keep in mind, no overtime in the preseason. So without getting ahead of ourselves, we'll likely see a 2-point try should they get this in the end zone.
Flush to his right. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds.
A lot on the line here, even for just a preseason game. Jobs to be won and lost. It's 3rd down. Pass taken in by his big tight end.
Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
Plenty of time and 2 timeouts still at their disposal. 1st and 10 here.
Throwing now is Wilson. Dumping it off for Johnson.
Into space at the 45.
And finally brought down right at the midfield stripe.
They'll come up 1st and 10 here.
And incomplete, a drop there in the middle 3rd of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down. Here's Wilson.
And that's going to be incomplete.
Back-to-back incompletions, but we know this is definitely 4th-down territory. Time not on their side. I don't think they want to try and get the 1st down in 2 installments. I think they got to go and get it right here, right now.
He gets this to Jones over the middle.
Now we're going to get a stoppage. Appears to be an injured Bear on the field.
Well, injury's never good, especially here in the preseason. Hopefully nothing serious. They'll take a look at him, and we'll step aside for a moment. Here we go. This is 4th down.
They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Dolphins' defense is able to hold. Well, their first 4th down attempt earlier was successful. This one backfires for a turnover on downs.
I like their aggressiveness. I like what they're doing. They got it the first time they went for it. Why not a second time? I don't think they'll be daunted from attempting it again. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, though, any 4th down stop is a big momentum play.
And they take a knee. Victory very likely now for the Dolphins as they take a knee here. Well, partner, it's just preseason, but it always feels good to be in victory formation, taking the knee for the W.
Yeah, I've often thought to myself when I watch these preseason games, some teams need the wins more than others. You know, if you're established and you're used to winning, not quite the same. But if you're trying to learn how to win, it's important to get it done. And to be able to kneel down at the end, even better.
And a fun, close ball game comes to an end. On that last play, Charles, they were on the wrong side of midfield. They needed something near a miracle, and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, the effort, that was good. Very good, in fact. They were just a little too far out to get a decent look at the end zone for that last opportunity. Couldn't get it done, but a nice game overall.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. The Dolphins are winners here as we say so long from South Florida.